Good morning, ELA students. Happy Monday. Today we are going to be watching a video to help you fill in the guided notes in your packet. It is Monday, July 27th, 2015, and we're focusing on summarizing and sequencing today. So, if you take a look at your packet, you have a space to fill in some guided notes. Before we do our guided notes, I want to review our daily objective. Our objective for today is to be able to identify the sequence of events to summarize the steps of the hero's journey. Two of the words we're really going to focus on are sequence and summarize in your guided notes today. So our first mini lesson is on summarizing by sequencing. In your guided notes, you have some blanks. Anywhere there are blanks, the words that you need to fill in will be in red on this slide. So we're starting with a summary. A summary includes the main points or most important information in a story or text. We've used summaries a lot, and we should remember that we're not using a lot of minor details when we summarize. It's just the main points or most important information. There are many strategies we use to summarize, including underlining important text features. Text features are things like titles, subtitles, headings. They also might include pictures. We also want to underline introduction and conclusion sentences of paragraphs. Those are the first and last sentences of a paragraph, and they can be really important in helping us find essential information to summarize. The final step that can really help us summarize, and the one we're focusing on the most today, is sequencing. Sequencing the main events in a text or a story. We're going to look a little bit more into that on the next slide. And the final thing is crossing out minor details that aren't needed. That's when you find little things that aren't going to help you find that really main idea. So take about 10 seconds and make sure that the first part of your guided notes are completely filled in with anything in red. We're also going to narrow our focus down onto summarizing through sequencing. A sequence is the order in which events take place. You might also think about a plot or plot diagrams where you get up to the climax, through the rising action, through those introductions, and then eventually to the resolution. We're not going to focus so much on a plot diagram today, but you are going to use a graphic organizer to help sequence events. There are a lot of strategies we can use to find the sequence of events in a story. They can include circling words to show the time and place, such as first, next, then, finally. Circle numbers that show order. Underlining why an event occurs in the story and what happens as a result. We can also call that cause and effect. When you find out the sequence of events, you can choose which are the most important and include those in the summary or the story of your text. So sequencing, once again, is just the order in which events take place. So take about 10 seconds and make sure anything in red is down on your guided notes. Really quickly, we're going to do a check for understanding. In your own words, what is a summary of a story or a text, and what is a sequence? I'm going to give you about 1 minute to write those two questions down. And if you need a little bit more time, just press pause on the video to finish out your thoughts. Go ahead and take 1 minute. All right, our minute's up. Once again, if you're not quite finished, press pause and you can press play when you're done. Really quickly, we're going to review our objective, the task that we're going to completing as you read, and how we're going to connect all this information at the end. So once again, our objective is that I can identify the sequence of events to summarize the steps of the hero's journey. And what that means is we're looking at the order of the events happening and kind of choosing the most important ones and summarizing or telling the most important parts of the hero's journey. How are we going to do that? As you read the article that's coming after your guided notes, you're going to circle any words that show time, place, or any numbers that show order. So remember, those words are first, next, then, and then any numbers that might show what order these events are happening in. We're going to use those events to sequence and summarize the steps of the hero's journey, so the order in which those events occur to find the most important events. Finally, you're going to connect all of that information using that graphic organizer, that circular graphic organizer at the back of your text. You want to select the most important steps to fill in the boxes. And the first one has been done for you, and it gives you a quick summary of the first stage or the first step in the hero's journey. So you're going to follow the steps as you come across them, circling those words to show order, circling those numbers to help you sequence, and fill in your graphic organizer. That's going to be the end of our video today. So now go ahead and independently get started reading the article called The Hero's Journey, circling your words that show time, place, and numbers that show order, and eventually connecting those together to summarize the steps of the hero's journey using the graphic organizer. Great job today, and good luck.